What is going on, guys? So I'm back today to talk about a new release documentary that was released directly to Peacock. And I checked this one out simply because I thought the premise was really interesting. This documentary is called I Love You, You Hate Me. I Love You, You Hate Me is directed by Tommy Avallone, a thought-provoking exploration of the spectacular rise and fall of Barney the dinosaur's furious backlash and what it says about the human need to hate. From Barney bashing to frat parties to homicidal video games, something in American society broke into a million pieces and it's never been put together again. Or is this just who we were all along? So I think what drew me to this is when I was a really young kid. I was born in 1990. I was a child who loved Barney. I have pictures of me meeting Barney in Barney t-shirts, and I still to this day as a 32-year-old man, I can remember all the songs from Barney and all the things about it. And so the premise to this documentary was really interesting because while a lot of this was occurring, I was a child. So this was all new information to me. But what the documentary really focuses on is it shows the woman who created Barney, and she created it for her son. And, she had this incredible vision to create this TV show that promoted love and acceptance and care towards children that was just a wholehearted TV show. The thing I remember about it as a kid is how many people of color and people from different backgrounds were in the show, and how Barney really did a great job of promoting to really young children from an early on age the importance of love and acceptance towards other people. And I get how a show like that could annoy adults, and I understand any sort of children's television show, there's a lot of things that are really repetitive, and it's meant because at a very young age when your brain can't process as much, you keep it simplistic so the main messages of the show can resonate with the kids. And so it was really interesting to see all the historical information about it. But then once you got into the nitty gritty where there's these hate groups focused on destroying Barney and getting it canceled, all these people who would burn Barney dolls and do all these insane things. And it really put into question this really interesting idea of people hate what they don't understand. And what people hated about Barney is that in all these other TV shows you watch, even if it was something about love or acceptance, there's always some sort of conflict. There's an internal conflict with the characters. There's something that they have to fight so that they can show that this message of love prevailing all would eventually succeed. And the thing that was interesting is Barney was a show that essentially never did that. It was all about love and promoting love at all times. And this whole idea of society hates what they don't understand is really fascinating. And there's this guy who they interview who created this club that was all these people who hated Barney, and it was Barney Haters United, or I don't even remember the name of it. And the whole reason he started it is because he came home from a business trip and he went to greet his daughter, and his daughter wanted to watch Barney instead of greet her dad when he got home from this business trip. And he was more upset at the fact that his daughter wanted to watch a show about these people who are constantly saying how important loving one another is and caring about other people are, than him for 5 minutes wanting attention and not getting it. And I thought that was really interesting to start this whole tirade against Barney because this guy hated that his daughter wouldn't acknowledge him for 5 minutes. But on a larger scale, just all of the hate surrounding it, and hating things that you don't understand is something that has been prevalent. And the attachments to making Barney out to be this homosexual because of the fact that he was a big purple dinosaur, and how many homophobic slurs were used against Barney. And it's crazy to think that this icon of children's television at this period in time was used in a way by people to be so hateful, and the message of it was skewed by these groups just because they didn't understand it. And it's obviously meant for young kids, and like I said before, I could understand being irritated by elements of it, but it didn't, the extreme hate doesn't make any sense to me, because I think the message of what the show was going for is something that's really important, and something that I think is missing in society now is caring for the people around you and actually giving a shit about other human beings. I feel that's something that is so missed out on and that people just don't care about anymore. And I thought that was really great. Obviously, there's some really interesting information about the people involved in the show, the actors that played Barney and that voiced Barney and like what happened to the creator's son. And there's all these really interesting elements throughout the documentary. I do think that it gets unfocused at times and it tries to say a little bit too much throughout it, where it could just be the one message I was telling you about and it could hit that on the head. But I feel like a lot of documentaries, you know, you get this limited amount of time to tell this really big story and you have a passion for it. And I don't think that it's completely focused, but I do think that it's really entertaining. And if you have a Peacock subscription, I think it's interesting enough. It's a little 2-part episode series. I think they're both about an hour apiece, but it's totally worth your time watching, and I think you'll enjoy it if you haven't checked it out. So if you've seen I Love You, You Hate Me, did you love it? Did you hate it? Leave me a comment down below and let me know what you thought. I thought it was a really interesting documentary that kept me captivated from start to finish. As always, if you can like the video and subscribe to the channel, it helps me out a lot and lets me know the type of content you're looking for. I'm always putting out new material and look forward to getting more out for you in the near future. And as always, everyone, thank you so much for watching and have a great rest of your day.